God the mystically unknown. God is eternally unknown. Even by knowing Him, one never knows Him. The sky and the plants can bring you to your knees, but there is always a heartache for something unknown and this mystical yearning to experience the unknown and unknowable. God is eternally unknown. Even by knowing Him, one never knows Him really. Even after a lifetime knowing, He remains unknown. This unknowability is His mystery. It is like the horizon. You think you are coming closer and closer, and when you come close, you realize the distance remains the same. Such is the mystical closeness that one feels when it comes to God. This is mystical. Mother Yashoda, the foster mother of Krishna, tried hard to tie Krishna, but the string went 2 finger widths short each time. Each time when she tried to tie him, she found the rope was short. She got a bigger rope, but each time it was 2 finger width shorter. She changed the rope, got the bigger rope. She realized that the rope is 2 finger width longer. When she changed it again, she found it was 2 finger width short. This happened each time. This is mystically symbolic and beyond the realm of the mind. This has to be understood. And it is good that man cannot know Him. Otherwise, he will become part of science and he will be just caught in a test tube somewhere in a lab. And you know what scientists can do? They will torture him if they can find him. They will poke him here and there. They will find out the secrets, just as they have been torturing monkeys and other animals during their scientific investigations. They will torture even God if they can find Him. Indeed, God can never become knowledge. The word science means knowledge. God can never become knowledge or the science. He is not a riddle to be solved. Instead, it is a mystery to be lived, a dance to be danced, a song to be sung, a love to be dissolved in. You can never come to know Him. The unknown God is the only God there is. And this unknowability is His beauty. He is unknown and unknowable. The more you try to know, the more you find that you will never be able to know. And this quality has been rendered in a master. He remains unknowable and unknown as well. The more you try to know Him, you will realize that there are many more dimensions of Him that remain unknowable to you. And to some extent you will find this unknowability even in ordinary man. The more you try to know, the more you come to know that you have not yet known this person completely. I have heard a story about St. Paul. When he came to Athens, the Greek world, to preach Christianity, he was very much surprised. In the center of Athens, there was a temple dedicated to the unknown God. There was no image. The temple was absolutely empty and silent. There was no one inside it. Just on the door of the temple there was an inscription dedicated to the unknown God. And people used to come to pray there, to feel God there. There was no priest, and there was no theology, and there was no philosophy around it. St. Paul destroyed it because he started teaching people and he laughed at the stupidity of this temple. He is reported to have said that it was absolute foolishness. How can you love an unknown God? And he would show them the known God. God had become known in Jesus Christ. And St. Paul was thinking that he was doing a great service to humanity. But he is one of the greatest criminals He destroyed the concept or no concept of an unknown God. That is the only God there is. He may have been reflected in the eyes of Jesus, but he still remains unknown. In fact, by knowing him, he is not known. You can certainly become part of this mystery and become unknown. Jesus has become a mystery by knowing him, and not that God has become known through Jesus. There is no way. He is so vast that it is impossible to put him down as a formula or in words or as a theory, as a dogma, as a creed. Forget the word God completely. Do not make that your obsession. It has nothing to do with God. Lao Tzu says the word water is not water. Water as a word is a theory, but the water that is existential, that can quench your thirst, is totally different from that of the word water. So too, the word God is not God. So do not make that your obsession. It has nothing to do with God. You can drop the word. Dropping the word will be helpful, because with that word, all that theologians have gone, all that theologians have done up to now will be dropped. You just look around, look into the eyes of a child or into the eyes of your beloved, your mother, your friend, or just feel a tree. Have you ever hugged a tree? What kind of nonsense you may think I am talking about, hugging a tree? Can that be possible? Yes, you can hug a tree. Hug a tree, and one day you will come to know that it is not only that you have hugged the tree, but the tree also responds. The tree also hugs you. Then for the first time you will be able to know that the tree is not just the form. It is not just a certain species that the botanists talk about. It is an unknown God. So green in your courtyard, so full of flowers in your courtyard, so close to you, beckoning you, calling you again and again, but you have never paid attention to it. It was Dr. Jagdish Chandra Bose, the Indian scientist, who developed an instrument to know the sensitivity of the plants. It is said the experiments have been done on the plants and the music, the effect of music on the plants. 2 plants were put outside the window of the room. From one side, the modern music was played on, and from the other side, the soft classical notes were played. It happened where the rock music was being played, the tree naturally moved away from that, and its growth became in the other direction. It bent towards the other side, and the tree that was on the side where the soft classical music was coming, the tree began to droop to that side and started leaning towards the side where the sound of the soft classical music was coming. Scientists were amazed to see this research, but this is a fact. There is a sensitivity in the plants. If you can be sensitive to the plant, and that is the only way to know that which is unknowable and unknown. If you can really hug the tree, you will realize the tree also responds. The tree also hugs you. Then for the first time you will be able to know that the tree is not just the form. It is not just a certain species that botanists talk about. It is an unknown God. So green in your courtyard, so full of flowers in your courtyard, so close to you, calling you again and again. Forget all words. If you can dedicate your being to the unknown, that is the best dedication possible. Theologians, priests, and people who do the business of religion have different things in their minds. They are not concerned with you or with God. Religion has become a great investment. In fact, it is the biggest trade in the world. It is said 25th of December is the birth of Jesus. But what is relevant for Christmas? It is Santa Claus, not Jesus. You see Santa Claus all around, but Jesus has been eradicated. Santa Claus means business. Jesus does not mean. No millionaire is so rich that he cannot be as churches are. No company is so rich they cannot be. When religion becomes an investment, then there are reasons, other considerations. Pray to a tree, pray to a river, pray to a rock. Let the feeling deepen in you, and you will realize that there is no need for words. This is why the Hindus praying to the rivers, mountains, trees, rocks. It was just to feel the unknowability, but the meaning is lost, and the people consider this as foolishness. Let your heart communicate. Melt yourself into the world and let the world melt in you. This communion is prayer, when you are melting into something. Even if you are standing near a flower and you melt totally into the flower and the flower melts into you, you have understood the meaning of the prayer. Synthesis comes, but you cannot make it. If you follow the path of meditation, one day you will attain to love as a consequence. If you follow the path of love, one day you will attain to meditation as a consequence. Synthesis comes, but you will have to follow one path. If you try to follow two, there will be confusion. Synthesis comes at the end on its own accord, so don't be worried. It is always so. If meditation happens, love is bound to happen as the flowering. Love is the flowering of meditation, and meditation is the ultimate in love. There is no other way for it to happen. If love does not happen, that simply shows meditation has not happened as yet. If love happens, meditation also happens as a shadow. If meditation has not happened through love, then your love is not yet real. You have not known the essence of love. It has not happened yet. Then you may be thinking about meditation because you have failed in love and you have moved to meditation. You will never be able to reach the ultimate in meditation. You have to follow one and continue to the end until the fruition begins. If you move really into the world of love, you will realize meditation has happened. So do not be worried about synthesis. You cannot make a synthesis. It is a natural habit. It is not for you to worry about it. Follow one, whichever feels closer to you, meditation or love. Sufism is path of love, and through that they attain to meditation. Zen is path of meditation, and through the meditation they attain to love as the ultimate flowering, as the shadow of meditation.